back. We've got Bryant, Selebangue, head coach, Hank Plona, and Grant Newell. Coach will open up with a statement, and then we'll jump into questions.
Obviously happy to come out of here with a win tonight. As I stare at this stat sheet right now, I think we got a little too focused on our individual things tonight, so I thought our ball movement and our team offense and our team defense didn't quite reflect the team that that these guys have worked really hard to build the last 5 months. So there you go, just start with some real positivity. There you go. But obviously Tennessee Tech is a very good team. We knew they would compete. They got a lot of older, experienced players, and they certainly did not back down. They shot the ball very well. They moved the ball very well, and it was a challenge just like we knew it would be. So definitely happy to come out of here with a win.
Certainly, you look, I guess first off, the free throws. You guys got to the line so much against them, just attacking constantly, and then really put the game away there.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. That's probably the positive that comes, you know, I'll have to watch the film to see if our lack of ball movement was because they were really pressuring out and denying us. And when that happens, you know, maybe you're able to get one-on-one and get to the rim. So, I mean, continuing to put pressure on the basket and getting to the free throw line is a good thing. And when you get to the line, you know, when you make a lot more free throws than their team shoots, that's usually a recipe for success. So, you know, only shot 11 threes. They shot 31. So obviously we were certainly focused on attacking the paint, and that's a good thing. So that's, I guess, as I glance at this, that's probably statistically the reason that we won the game, and probably had a lot less turnovers than they did too. So I think probably those are some, you know, toughness type things, and you know, and we are a tough team. I don't question these guys' ability to be physical and to play physical and to impose our will on others. So I'm sure we did that at times. Obviously, to me, it was just not, you know, from where we were probably 5 days ago at UAB. I think that wasn't quite the same feeling of success on both ends of the floor. But I promise by the time we watch the film and see these guys tomorrow, I'll figure out why we won the game.
Coach, you look at Terrion's stat line. I mean,
he's the reason we won the game. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, he plus minus 29 affected the way every time he's on the floor. That plus minus is insane. What does he do that really impacts his team?
Everything. He said that he's been the best player in practice all 5 days since we played at UAB. I think the UAB game gave him confidence that physically he has the ability to be the Terrion Murdochs that he knows he is. He's the other guy on the team that if we do selfish or careless things, it drives him just as crazy as it drives me. And when you have a point guard that has that mentality, that certainly rubs off on the team, you know. And I think Terrion is very efficient. I think he's got a way that he's trying to make passes, but man, if he has one-on-one, he goes to the basket, he defends, he rebounds, he sees what's going on. I mean, he's a big positive for us now. I'm not surprised. You know, I think that I actually thought at the end of the first half when they were making a run, I mean, he had 2 fouls, and that's why his minutes were a little bit low there in the first half, but we put him in for about a 2-minute stretch, and it stretched that lead back up to 13 at halftime, and I thought he was the catalyst in doing that. So I thought I don't have any complaints about Terrion Murdochs. Thanks for bringing that up. I do know he's the reason that we won that game.
Bryant, I want to ask you, 14 points, 10 rebounds tonight, so that's a double-double your first time out. Do you feel like you're back to that player that you've been in the past, or was this just a first step in being that guy?
This is definitely your first step. Coaches emphasize my motor to keep pushing myself in practice, and that's something I'm going to continue working on. And they emphasize it's going to translate. You know, just making sure my motor is always high, running in practice, not to take days off, and I'm sure that's going to translate.
Hank, they got 7 several times in the second half, and then 6 where they never got any closer than that. What would you attribute that to?
I guess I'm not sure. I think you have to get stops when that happens. I mean, it just felt like when we struggled to score and, you know, in the lead, and I'm telling you, sometimes we don't, but you're up 10 or 15. Sometimes that ball doesn't move quite as good, you know. Sometimes there's maybe not quite the same. Okay, this is super important, you know. I mean, I thought every time the lead got close, we got back to, on both ends, locking down and playing some winning basketball. And I thought when the lead got to 13 to 15, we got reckless and out of character. And so and I told them after the game, I'm assuming my prediction or whatever is that that's why it happens, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll watch the film. But I guess the other thing, just to be really honest, is when that happens and you can call timeout, or when the ball stops, you can change the lineup. And obviously we're trying to play a lot of guys, but playing time's not charity. You have to go out there and you have to produce. You have to do your job. You have to play in a way to win. And I've for 5 months these guys have more or less agreed that you don't get to play 6 to 8 minutes to get in a rhythm. If I could choose 5 guys and let them get to a rhythm, but that would be discarding the other 10 and saying, nah, man, like you better sit over there no matter how these other guys are playing. So we're going to try to keep holding the standard high, and it's good to get the first game. The first game that felt, the exhibition games are good. The lights are on. The crowd's there. But there's maybe not quite as much consequence to winning and losing, and maybe there's some comfort with that. These guys probably knew that. I don't think anybody wanted to lose tonight, but you got to get to that point where you're staying in the moment and the habits translate from everything we've done on a daily basis to game time.
The first time they cut it to 6 in the second half, Teagan got an offensive put back. I think he did it again to get back to double digits when they had it within 8. Just down that stretch, he seemed to come up with some.
I agree. I thought his last 5 or 6 minutes he played really well. I thought he was, maybe before the 6 or 7 minute timeout, there's a timeout right there where he was just trying to almost draw a foul and flail his body and flop. And I've never seen him do that. Like he does, we've been at this 5 months, he doesn't do that. He plays right through contact like it's nothing. So all of a sudden, that's a good example. Like if Teagan Moore, midway through it, and I get it, he had 26 last game. These guys probably have the film. They probably had a full scout on him. He was probably the focal point, I would think, after having 26, so they had a plan for him, and I think that bothered him a little bit, but I think maybe that got him off course. But then when that game got close, we kind of challenged him to get back to being himself, and no doubt I thought he made some great plays without the basketball, those offensive rebounds to keep us in front, and he made some plays down the stretch to help us win for sure.
Grant, it's your first game at Newell. Just take us through your experience and just what you were able to do to help the team win.
Well, it was a good experience to finally have an official game in front of everyone. And, it wasn't just me. It was like a team effort. I tried to do as much as I can. At the beginning, like Coach said, I made a couple of selfish plays, not intentional, but that's not really me. And then I feel like we got to a point where, turn the ball 4 or 5 times, and that's winning basketball. When you play like that attributes to winning.
Anything else for these guys? Thank you.
We didn't hit on Ryan Myers. Kind of a little bit of a quiet double-digit night, but provided you some offense when you needed it.
Yeah, I thought he played good. I thought, Ryan had 4 fouls in 5 or 6 minutes at UAB, and that bothered me because we've been on Ryan to stop fouling for 5 months, and sometimes when there's not real refs, he tells me that Wyatt and Aaron and Devontae, who are my young guys on staff, he just says that they're bad refs, so he doesn't change behavior. But when real refs call 4 fouls and then you end up on the bench, sometimes you play a little smarter on D. So I thought Ryan stayed out of foul trouble and stayed focused on the things that helped us win. I thought the free throws he made were big. That 3 in the first half, obviously we didn't really shoot a ton of threes tonight, but that little kind of step back that he made, he has the ability to do. He shot that with confidence, and I thought this is Ryan's 6th year playing college basketball. He's played for me 1 year, but he's played, this 4 other years, so he's seen a lot and played in a lot of games, and I thought his experience, Grant's experience, Terrion's experience, Bryant's experience, I think these guys, those are probably the 4 guys that played in the most, games, and I thought the 4 of them, they all showed that here tonight.
I think you brought out just one starter in the second half, to start the second half. You pulled those guys pretty quick and brought.
Well, I tried to play the group that was, I thought, doing good at the end of the first half, and then I thought we got off to a very poor start in the second half. So again, just trying to play, whether there's no starters on this team quite yet, and just because you start the game doesn't mean you're going to start the second half. There's 40 minutes, and we're going to try to keep team success and playing the right way and buying into what these guys, not forget that what we have established as our standard, but these guys they've kind of established and bought into this standard for team success, and that everybody, that you got to do it every day. I can give them the option of having an NBA type rotation when they know they're going to play and stuff like that, but I don't think, that'd be good for some guys maybe, and that'd be bad for others, but we're just going to try to keep rewarding the guys that are succeeding and helping us win, and I think we have a lot of very talented, successful players, so if we just continue to reward team success, to me that motivates others to want to want to play and carry themselves and participate and to help us be a championship level team.
And I know these games count now, but these early non-conference games, you still kind of experiment a little bit, tinker, and maybe stretch that bench a little?
I don't know. I'm trying to play the guys to try to win the game, so I don't think they count any less. I think at the end of the season last year, I kept hearing about how many wins we had. So I guess they all count. And so I think we're just going to, whether it's practice in June or practice in August or workouts in October. I mean, we're going to try to win the game. I think these guys are trying to make the decisions on the court to win them. I'll try to, from my chair, I guess I only sit down, so from my walking, pacing back and forth for 40 minutes, I'll try to make the decisions to try to help us win those games too.
One thing that kind of hurt you on tonight was the inbounds plays, too. A couple threes off that, a couple dunks.
Yep.
I guess that's going to be a point of emphasis.
Sure. In game 1, you don't really know what they're going to do. So it's, so if that happened in game 15, they probably would have it scouted. But we went over a couple inbounds plays, and then they ran a couple different ones here tonight. So just to be honest with you. So yeah, I thought they executed them well. They certainly shot that ball with confidence, and that's typical first game stuff. Sometimes some little wrinkles like that work. So it was different than what we had prepared for, and that's credit to them.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.